we get started, I need to thank my best friend Olivia for giving us this video idea. So shout out to you, Olivia. You're gonna be our shout out for this video.
So Kurin put out a poll on Instagram and just said, hey, what do you guys need advice on? We are going to answer. But our first thing that needs advice is I've been struggling a lot with balancing schoolwork and home obligations and personal life. I feel like we were there.
Before we got married, I would say that we were both working a ton. My only advice would be just to let you know that it's just a season. It's not gonna last forever. Just keep trucking along. It might be a long season, but it's just a season.
Buying your first home.
Aidan didn't believe me that we could buy our own home when we did.
We were 21 and 20. Well, 20 and 22.
21 and 22 when we bought our first home. We were gonna just get a rental, and then my mom was like, no, just come talk to my loan officer, because she worked for a mortgage company. And so we went in and we just talked to a loan officer. He looked at our finances, he looked at our credit scores, he looked at our incomes. We were not married at the time that we bought this house. We bought this house together before we got married, and then we got married. Honestly, you will be really surprised at how little income you need really to buy a house. Like, we were making not that much money when we qualified for this home, and this is a big, really big house. Honestly, go to a loan officer and just say, hey, let's take a look at my finances. They give you homework. So for us, we had to pay off like 2 or 3 credit cards completely. And we thought, okay, it'll probably be like 6 months before we can be approved. But after we lowered our debt to income ratio, we were able to qualify for a bigger loan. And our interest rate is actually really, really good.
We bought it at a really good time.
Yeah, that's true. We bought it at a really good time. And also, everyone thinks that you have to have a giant down payment to buy a house. We had a pretty good down payment for this house, but we didn't need it in order to buy it. We just did it to do it.
So you can go FHA, which is First Time Home Owners Association. The rules for buying the house are a little more stringent. Like the inspection is a little different. You have to have an earthquake strap on your water heater, and there can basically be nothing wrong with the house because with an FHA loan, you can put 0 down. We didn't do that. We went conventional because we had a down payment that we could do. There is unexpected costs that you don't know about. So like our homework, we had to pay off a couple $1,000s worth of, not a couple $1,000, it was like $1,500 worth or so of some just bills. And then your house inspection. You have to pay for house inspection, which I did not know about.
And then what was that other money? It was like $1,000.
For our loan, it was $1,000 of Earnest money.
You do end up getting that back.
So Earnest money, it says it's basically a security deposit. Earnest money is showing good faith about wanting to complete the transaction. So basically it's just so that you don't waste
their time.
The loan officer's time. How to love a brother or sister in Christ without supporting their sinful behavior. God pretty much puts this right out there and says you need to love unconditionally. That is hard to do by nature because you look at people and you say, oh, they're sinning, they're doing this and that.
Especially if they're Christians. It's easier to, like, I would say, not judge somebody if they're not a believer because they're not a believer and they don't see what they're doing is wrong. But since you said brother or sister in Christ, that must mean that they are believers as well. And that's when it's more tough. I would say, honestly, calling them out is probably the best thing that you can do. Believer to believer, calling them out is probably the best thing. Everyone always says, oh, only God can judge me. And my answer to that is, yeah, and I'm scared for when he judges you.
Don't attack them, don't talk at them. Talk to them. First time mom advice, she's due on Christmas.
Ooh, Christmas baby. My brother is a Christmas baby too. He was born the 21st, but my biggest advice is to research everything. Research everything. Don't go off of just what America does as a whole. Don't go off of what your friends do, what your parents think you should do, what the doctors think you should do. Really dive deep into everything. And I would use a different search engine other than Google because Google is bought out by a lot of things. So I heard that there's a search engine called DuckDuckGo, I believe. So I'd use that and research everything. Like I researched circumcision and decided that that was not going to be for our son.
So looking from like the outside in, I would say to hold your ground, like stand firm in your beliefs and what you've researched.
Israel in the hospital didn't pass one of his hearing tests, like his right ear or something like that. And they took my brand new baby from me for 45 minutes while they were doing this stupid hearing test, and he was just twitching and like making noises and moving around like crazy, and he was not comfortable. He was away from me, and I did not give a crap that he failed his right ear. And they were bullying me about it, like, you need to get this done, you need to get it done.
He's gonna be deaf for the rest of his life.
And then the pediatrician that we went to 3 days later, she's like, okay, I'm ordering this for you. You guys are doing this. You need to make sure that he can hear. And I'm like, honestly,
and then we switched pediatricians.
Yes, we switched pediatricians. So that's another thing, is if you don't like your pediatrician that you first meet,
Switch.
You can switch as many times as you want to.
How do you and Aidan keep motivated with the couple journaling? We do it on Sunday night, every single night, or every single night, Sunday night, every single week. And I think the reason why it works so well is because it's not every day. And
it's so easy. It can take anywhere from 10 minutes to like several hours, depending on like your conversation that, you know, the questions bring up. But for us, honestly, it probably only takes like 30 minutes every time we do it.
We wait until like probably 9:30 at night on Sunday night. What are you guys doing? Put it in the comments down below at 9:30 at night on a Sunday night.
On Netflix or Hulu.
Or on your phone in bed.
Yeah.
Put it down for 30 minutes and have some interaction with your spouse.
Yeah.
How did you know the right time to move in together? We waited till we were married to move in.
Yeah, but we were almost gonna move in together beforehand, and I'm glad that we didn't.
Same.
But we were just both so desperate to get out of our houses, so the reason that we were going to be moving in together was not like the right reason. So don't like move in with someone out of desperation. And then if you're a believer, obviously it's better if you wait until marriage to move in together. I know everyone's like, I need to live with the person that I'm going to marry, or else I'm going to go crazy, or how am I going to know that it's going to work out? Like, really, if you love that person, it is going to work out. So Aidan and I did not live together before we got married. I moved in after our honeymoon. From a believer standpoint, if you're a believer, obviously the best time to move in with your significant other is when you guys are husband and wife. But if you're not a believer, my advice is just don't move in together out of desperation. And also don't move in together if you guys have been dating under a year. Because my mom always told me this and gave me this advice, which is a really good advice. You need to date someone for an entire year before you know all of them, because you need to go through every single season with them, every single holiday, like an entire year. You need to go through an entire year before you actually know them. That would be my suggestion.
Partner struggling with mental health, how to be there for them without overstepping.
So I can relate to this on a friend level, because I have a friend who struggles with mental health a lot. It's hard because sometimes I feel like me texting her every day, me calling her every day, asking her how things are, gets annoying, because sometimes if I don't reach out, she won't reach out to me for days. And actually, I've asked her like, hey, is it okay? Like, do you get annoyed when I'm texting you every day, asking you how things are? And she said, no, actually, I really appreciate it. Even if I don't respond, even if I just read it and leave it alone, the fact that you are checking on me and being there for me means the world. So I would always make sure that you are allowing conversation to happen and allowing for them to open up to you, but let them know. Because I told my friend, I said, hey, if you don't want to talk, we don't have to talk. You can tell me, hey, this is not a talking day. And I would say the same thing for your partner. Just let them know, like ask them every day, hey, how are you doing?
And don't expect an answer.
Yeah, and it's okay if they don't answer, and let them know that you're okay with them not answering, not wanting to talk about how they're feeling, because some days they just don't want to.
Lately, all my husband is concerned with is playing games on his phone. Help. Been there? Been there.
Obviously, he's saying it's a struggle for us too.
Yeah. Set boundaries.
There's some boundaries that I would like to implement that we haven't yet, but the ideas that I have heard from other couples is no phones in the bed, no phones while you're with other family and friends, no phones at the dinner table, And also some people take a social media sabbatical on like Saturday or Sunday and they like completely turn off their phones. They don't even have their phones on them at all. I actually know of a couple who literally bought a flip phone for their sabbatical so that if someone really does need to call them, that they can call their flip phone. So if you have an iPhone, ask him to look at his screen time and see if he thinks that spending 8 hours of screen time a day is acceptable, and then try to set boundaries. They don't have to be extreme, they don't have to be crazy.
If he can, like while he's home from work, if he can sit down for an hour a day and play the game, like an hour a day is better than 4 hours a day, you know?
Yeah, that's also a good idea. If he's like so constantly on it, be like, hey, you have this amount of time while you're home that I think would be good for you to, like if you're doing laundry, if you're cleaning, if you're cooking, whatever, if you're occupied with something, let them know, hey, now is a good time for you to play your games.
Breastfeeding and how to get a good latch, please.
So I am going to be filming a video all about this, but it's probably not going to be up until first week of December. Go to a
lactation consultant.
Lactation consultant. They had one at my hospital and I went to it.
And we spent like an hour and a half there.
There are some lactation consultants that will actually come to your house too, which is really cool. And from there, ask them about lip ties, tongue ties, and cheek ties, because a lot of the time that's why babies have a bad latch. Their latch is supposed to be like a fish, like this, around your whole areola, and like the more that you can get in their mouth, the better and more comfortable it is. He's always had an amazing latch from the beginning, but I did really need help like the first day or two.
What do I do when I'm getting bullied? Because I'm getting bullied at school.
Completely ignore them, because most of the time they honestly just want something out of you. They
want the reaction, they want the pain, they want to be able to see your emotion that you give off. So if you just like turn the other cheek and walk away and don't say anything, yeah, it still hurts, but just don't give your bully the satisfaction of your sad emotion.
I can actually kind of relate to this right now, even because on social media, on YouTube, I got an absolutely horrific DM a couple of weeks ago, and it took every fiber in my being not to respond to it. And when I say that it was a horrific DM, it was absolutely horrific. Like, I don't even know how this person could say something so horrible to me. And I read the DM, deleted it, blocked them, and then they made another profile to DM me again. I read their DM, deleted that, and blocked them. And from there, they did not try again. So honestly, just ignoring it, because all they want is just a reaction from you.
Do we still take prayer requests? Yes. You can comment down below your prayer requests. If they are too personal, you can DM me or my wife on Instagram. How to deal with family members that are not supportive of your parenting. You need to look at whoever isn't supportive of them, if they're trying to steer you a different way or they're trying to parent your child in front of you, and look at them and say, this is my child and I'm going to parent my child how I want.
Make the decisions that I feel necessary to make.
Because it's not their child, it's your child, and
definitely
it is your responsibility to raise the child the best way that you know how.
And do it respectfully. You don't have to like cause a fight or a disagreement or anything like that, but stand firm in how you parent.
Visitors at the hospital after birth. No, just say no.
We had people who were not respectful of us when they came to visit us, and you're in the most vulnerable like situation ever, like in your life. You're pretty much naked. You're wearing a giant diaper with another diaper inside of it filled with ice. Your belly is jello hanging everywhere. Your boobs are probably out. Literally, you just gave birth. The only people that I think we will allow,
parents.
Yeah, next time is parents and my sister.
Yep,
honestly.
I completely agree with that. How should I go about starting my own YouTube? I don't know where to begin. I
wish I would have started years ago, honestly. Yes. I would just say, just start. Like when we started, we were just using the back of my phone because it has 4K video. Like our honeymoon vlog is filmed on my iPhone, and you don't even have to post it yet. Like, just like start getting comfortable in front of the camera, because I feel like that's the worst part. That's the hardest part, is being comfortable talking to nobody, talking to literally a camera.
I would have to completely agree. It is weird.
Especially in public, but
walking down the street with a camera
go
in your
back
hand
to
in front of you, speaking at a camera. Like
Yeah.
it's weird, but I mean, like, oh, buddy.
it kind of just goes back to not caring about what other people think, and I feel like me and Aidan are still trying to master that.
Yeah.
For all they know, you can have millions of subscribers.
Exactly.
Like, just act like you do, honestly.
Just be confident when you're in public. Whip the camera out. Yes, you do have to be mindful of other people.
Yeah, try not to get other people in it if possible, because some people don't want to be on camera.
House training dogs. You're having the hardest time with it.
My first dog, Drago, would wake me up like 7 to 10 times a night to go to the bathroom. I am not even kidding you. So my best advice is to put them in their kennel at night, and it is going to be hard. We keep our dogs in our room with us in the kennel, and I think that really helps, because you take a puppy or a dog, put them in a kennel outside of your room, they're gonna cry, most likely. So we have them in our room. That way, if they do need to go to the bathroom, on occasion, Boop will get diarrhea. I mean, it happens like once a month. And he will need to go to the bathroom, and he'll cry, or I'll hear him stirring so much, like his nails moving constantly. I'm like, okay, he has to go to the bathroom. So crating them in your room with you, and when they need to go to the bathroom, getting up, yes it sucks, and taking them physically outside your front yard, your backyard, whatever. It's gonna be hard. It is really going to be hard, but you have to do it.
Another thing.
And taking them out every hour during the day.
I was just gonna say that. Don't wait until you think they need to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Put them outside every hour.
Put it like a reminder on your phone. Have an alarm go off every single hour.
Advice on how to overcome anxiety and panic attacks without medication.
I don't think either of us really suffer from anxiety, so we can't really give like advice from experience. But I would say there's a Bible verse that says, cast all of your anxieties on him, for he cares for you. So every time you're feeling anxious, just praying and being like, God, I'm feeling so anxious right now. Please help me get through this situation. Please help me get through this hour. Please help me get through this next minute, whatever it is.
How to accomplish things with your baby.
Well, I'm not wearing him anymore, but my Lily baby carrier, I think, is one of my favorite things. And I really like that one because it's more like supportive, and it like carries his weight very well, so I don't feel like I'm like, I don't know, toppling over or anything like that. So like we were cooking dinner and he was getting fussy, and he had just eaten an hour ago, so he didn't need to eat. And I just put on my carrier and he fell right asleep. Wearing him honestly has been a lifesaver.
Someone got accepted to their dream college, which is 2 hours away from their hometown. Their parents want them to stay
Local and go to
a community college. This person wants to leave and does not want to upset their parents, but they also want to go to their dream college.
Sometimes you have to upset people. Like, you cannot make everybody happy. Not everybody is gonna like you. Honestly, if it's your dream college and you got accepted,
Do it.
go. 100% go. Go to your dream college, because you will regret not going, I think.
How to get over a breakup, especially when you have been cheated on.
Well, I don't think that getting over it is like the right way to say it. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have some sort of feelings for that person like forever, honestly. You probably loved each other, so just give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. If it takes you 10 years to get over a breakup, who cares? Like, that's just your healing process, and that's how long it took you to get over it. Like, it takes a long time. It takes years. If they're trying to message you and stuff like that, just block them. Block their number, block them off of social media, get as far away from them as you possibly can, because you're just reopening that wound every single time you talk to them.
Being fearful that you will not meet the right person.
I firmly believe that there's not just one person for everyone. That you could that you could make it work with a lot of different people. You're not going to be able to make it work with everyone. There has to be like chemistry and certain things there, but like,
there's not one person in the whole world that's for you.
don't worry about it because you're not gonna miss. There's not just one person. And if you guys don't end up together, you miss them. Like, you're not gonna miss that one person.
Don't go search for this person.
Yeah. We have someone in our family who got married in 6 months of knowing her boyfriend. They got engaged after like 3 or 4 months. They just knew that they were for each other, and they ended up getting married after like 6 months, I think. They were dating for 6 months?
Something like that.
Or 8 months?
It was short.
Something very short, and they've been happily married for 2 years now, and they have an amazing little family.
It can happen, and
Yeah.
it can happen fast. It can happen like that. That is everything for this
Long advice video.
kind of like a Q&A advice video. Here's some good advice from the Bible right here. Proverbs 13:20. Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next one, guys. And I didn't even tell you you're loved. Oh, you guys are loved. I love you guys. Bye.